My question is about emotions and the distinction between being authentic to an experience that I'm having or someone's having, whether it's like grief or sadness coming up, which happened to
Mm-hmm.
me today, and not like spiritually bypassing that authentic experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't want to just like stuff this, and suppress
Sure.
it. Where's the distinction between like spiritually bypassing and then being authentic to your
Great question.
experience?
Thanks
Thank
for the
you.
question. And look, I have sat in meditations, and out of nowhere, I had the most icky, so familiar but so foreign feeling move through me that it was, I don't know, I never saw it coming. I didn't know what it was. And all I did was, instead of run and turn on my cell phone or lay down or quit, I was curious if there was something on the other side of it. So if I stayed present with it and felt it, it was an energy, and that energy is a frequency, and that frequency carries information, or the emotion has a memory, however you want to say it. And so you have to pass through the valley of the shadow of darkness many times to find the light. And I have sat with my body, curious to wonder if there's anything on the other side of this emotion. And if I stayed present with it and felt it, it would turn into something else in time. And so then think about it. We have different sensations that our body experiences. You may feel like a tightening in your throat and your respiratory rate going up and kind of flush and your heart fluttering, and you may be feeling anxious. But all of those sensations that the body is recording, your interpretation of it is anxiety or being anxious. So the sensations then, the cumulative sensations, as information, we call it an emotion. So the moment we name it, it's anxiety, but those sensations that come up for the body is information. So people then sitting in the presence of that information and allowing you to experience it fully will cause you to move through it. Now for me, I'm all about this. If it's a familiar feeling, more than likely I'm back in some unconscious program, because the emotion is driving certain behaviors, certain habits, certain thoughts. Now, that doesn't mean that people can't go through grieving processes, but I do believe that that process, for some people, becomes a way for them to get attention and to get things in their life that they need, and they use it in a way that becomes part of their identity, and they do that unconsciously. And so for me, I would say then, what greater piece of knowledge could I learn about grief or about myself that I would want to apply to evolve my experience of it and see if there's something on the other side of it? So we look for those answers then, and we build a model. And for example, people grieve a lot for people that die. And I totally get it, but if you had a greater understanding of death, you may not have such a grief for that long, because you would say, my goodness, if I truly love this person, if you passed this plane and you saw someone you loved walking around suffering, what would you say to them after a period of time? Hey, if you love me, live your life. I'm going on, go, enjoy. So I always look, what is my limited belief about something, and could I learn to expand my awareness of what's possible? So if you feel the grief, stay present with it, and see, by staying present with it, if there's something on the other side of it. Sit with it long enough. I've had so many dark nights. I've sat with it until it turned into something else. I just was curious. I didn't want anything out there to do it. I wanted to do it. And when it matters the most is when it's the hardest. That's what I know.